Hello everyone, and welcome to the first in a series on how to store data on a website using the ESP8266 Wi-Fi module. There's a lot of tutorials out there on how to use this module, but a lot of them don't go as in-depth as I plan to when it comes to setting up the server itself and working with an Arduino board to post data to a website. So first things first, I'll show you a quick list of software I'm using the Arduino IDE, the Microsoft Web Platform Installer, and Notepad++. So let's open up my procedure. Alright, first thing you're going to do if you're on a Windows machine is go to Turn Windows Features On or Off. Alright, you'll see something called Internet Information Services. You're going to want all of this. These are also important. All of those. And let's see. You're going to, ASP.NET. I chose all versions just because. CGI. And .NET extensibility. So once you click all of those, click OK. For you, it'll show up it's installing the features. And next, what you're going to want to do is open up IIS here. This is IIS 10, by the way, even though it doesn't show that. That should be what is installed by default on your Windows 10 machine. So I'll delete the website I made just to show you the process. Yes. Okay. Add website. Site name, let's name it ESP8266.com. Actually, take away the .com. We're naming it, the host name is where you put the .com. Physical path. Alright. So I made a folder called domains in case I want to run multiple websites, even though I don't need to right now. So documents, research, domains, and here I made the ESP8266 folder for the website, but you're going to want to send it to a folder called www.root without the dot. Okay. IP address, I leave mine at all unassigned, and I do that because if you switch networks, your IVP4 address will change, and it's a little bit more challenging to change the IP address you set here rather than doing bindings, which I'll show you after. ESP8266.com. Now, one thing to keep in mind with this is if you're on a network, you can set up bindings to route your browser to go to ESP8266.com, so it'll send it to your local site. However, if I were to do that right now, it'll send me to a website. This is owned by someone else, run by someone else, and even if I were to set this up on my local machine, I could type in ESP8266 and get my website. However, if I were to go on another computer on the same network, they would reach the site I just showed you. So it's important to do one of the following. Either buy a server DNS address through your provider, or you can just use the IP address that is linked to your machine. And I find that to be a lot more reliable. Otherwise, you don't really know where your data's going. So we'll do that. Alright. Let's open this up. Directory browsing. If it's not enabled, hit enable. If you don't see that, you probably didn't click it in the Turn Windows Features On and Off. So just go back and do that. Let's go to bindings at the top right. Alright. IP address. Alright, that's my IP right now. That's fine. Okay. Close. Alright, let's use Firefox because Chrome is being pretty terrible as of late. Yeah, why not? Alright, so let's see, what was our IP address? 67.221.65.176. Alright, that worked pretty well. So you can go ahead and try that now, and if it doesn't work, I will show you a few things that you may need to take into account. So in Windows, even if you're using a third-party program like Norton, Windows Firewall with Advanced Security is somewhere where you're going to want to put the following rule. So I went to, let's see, inbound rules, I believe. New rule, yep. So you're going to be running on TCP port 80. So let's click that. Port 80. You're allowing the connection here. Otherwise, you run the risk of connectivity being interrupted by your firewall. So what I recommend is to, do it in Windows Firewall with Advanced Security, and then move on to your third-party firewall program if you still have problems. However, if you do it here, there's something else I want to show you that you can check before moving on to your Norton or McAfee, whatever you use. I've already made this connection, so just do allow connection, next. I would keep it private unless you're on a public network and trust that someone won't take advantage of your server. I mean, you always run the risk of security, so. Alright, and then you can name it. But like I said, I already have my policy there, so you can do that for inbound and outbound. I don't think outbound is necessary, but it doesn't hurt. So, as I said before, that should make it so there's connectivity between your server and other local machines. If not, if you're getting an error when you open it up, I think it might be 404 or something along those lines, there's something else you have to do. Alright, so let's go to your domains folder, wherever you put that. Alright, www.root. Now you need to go to properties here and go to sharing. I have mine shared, so click that little button that says share and make sure that it is shared on your drive. Also, it's good to go to security and make sure that all users have read and execute and read and write permissions, otherwise requests to access the server won't work. If you find that you can't do that and you keep trying to change these check marks and they're completely grayed out, then you have to go to here and change, actually, no, there's, yeah, if you find that if you click on everyone and there's no way for you to change any of these permissions, all of this is grayed out, you're going to want to go to advanced and click add, well, first look and see if the user that you're on is listed here, and make sure it's the owner, which is what you would see here. So you go to change, advanced, find now. You'd have a list of all users on your computer, so just find the one that you're using. There I am, and I'm also an administrator, so I have it set as that. You would click OK, and the new user would show up here. Then you would have given yourself administrative access to change permissions on your folder. I know it seems like a lot, but there are countless different errors that you can find, and I've tried it on 3 machines now, and already I've found all of these errors haven't been across all machines. It's been mixed. So after that, so we've set up the website, we set up our folders, we did port 80 firewall allowance, set up IIS. The next thing we need to do is download something called Web Platform Installer by Microsoft and install PHP. So That's just a quick Google Web Pi, as they call it. Download the Microsoft Web Platform. Yeah, hit free download, and I already have it, so I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so it'll come up to Spotlight Products and Applications. It's important to download PHP version 7.09. If for some reason it gives you a fatal error on installation, you can try other versions. I don't think you will run into any problems. But you're going to want to install that, and it'll add a lot of other, like I think 2 other extensions to make sure it runs. And this is so our PHP get script works on the website. So after you do that, check and see if it installed, and if so, your website should be good to go. Alright. So let's see if our PHP works. First I will show you the script I'm using for PHP. PHP scripts. Alright, there it is. Edit with Notepad++. I really do like this program, by the way. It makes everything very pleasing and organized. So PHP is a script that's very similar to HTML, but I am using it to use something called the GET request. It allows you to post data to a text file, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. So I'll go over some. You can just copy this script actually, and just to see if you can get it to work. But $variable1 get request, and I named it voltage. Variable 2 get request time. Then I have another variable called file content, which is a string, and this is the response you will get for this is how it'll be appended into the data.txt file. It's done through this function here, file append and file put contents, and if it works, it'll tell you successful write to file, and if it doesn't, failure to write to file. So I will show you how that is done. I'll go back to my website, and I'll go into PHP scripts. Alright, there's my script. It says successful write to file. Now notice I didn't put any variables in it. Well, my script, I should edit this later, but I didn't put a if statement to make sure requests with no data are not logged, so that's something that can be improved upon. But in order to put variables in, you do this. Question mark voltage equals, let's say 6, and where's the ampersand, and time equals 7. Okay. Oops. Don't put that in the text file. That was my mistake. Put that in the script. So this is the script that I clicked on before. Question mark voltage equals 6 and time equals 7. Successful write to file. Let's see if it actually was. Okay, there it is. The reading was 6 volts at 7 seconds. Now we know our script works, and now we know that our local machine at least can communicate with it. Now we can close this out. No, minimize. Close that. And look at what we have to do next. Alright, well, that actually concludes the portion on setting up your IIS server. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments below. I'll try to get back to you. Otherwise, Google is a great resource, and that's how I learned how to do this. So I will see you in part 2 of the video, where we interface our ESP8266 with our Arduino microcontroller and post data to the website. Take care.